If I'm chatting with y'all on a Saturday morning and I'm all dressed up fancy like, usually that's not a good omen. That's going to hold true as Crashy, the very unhappy Arctic cold front, blast into Texas today with an increasing chance for some ice, sleet, snow, slicky slicky doom doom as we head into Sunday, Monday, continuing in spots until Tuesday. Winter is here. Let's talk about it in this special Saturday morning edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Why, hello there, and good morning. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is Saturday, the 13th of January, 2024. We do have a bit of weather to talk about over the next several days, with dangerously cold temperatures arriving in the state, leading to several days of below freezing temperatures across the northern half to the northern two-thirds of Texas. Overnight low temperatures in some cases dropping below zero. Yeah, it's going to be a bit cold out there, but did you really expect anything different after the summer we had? Some of you will say yes, some of you will say no, and some will say Mama Nature's going to do what Mama Nature's going to do. I'm personally in that third department, and I'm just the messenger, so as much as you may want to throw tomato at my bald head, let's try not to do that today, please, and thank you. Let's talk about the arrival timing of Crashy, the cold front, and this is off the high resolution rapid refresh model. The blue and purples you see. If it's blue, that's a 32-degree isotherm, the freezing line. You can see it's going to be making substantial progress to the south today as Crashy the cold front continues to move on south this morning into this afternoon. By lunchtime, it'll be through the Panhandle, northwest Texas, early afternoon through the DFW Metroplex, Abilene. By late tonight, early tomorrow morning, Houston, it'll be through Houston by probably 3 a.m., San Antonio probably by midnight, Del Rio a few hours after. Now, this specific model thinks the cold front actually may stall out across deep south Texas tomorrow afternoon, leading to one more warm day across deep south Texas. Whether or not that's going to occur is up in the air, as you might say, but for the rest of the state, minus folks west of the Davis Guadalupe Mountains, it's going to get cold over the next day. Now, today, this afternoon, it's actually going to be quite warm across the southern two-thirds of Texas before Crashy the cold front arrives. Highs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's going to be a very nice day before the cold front comes in and knocks those temperatures down. For the northern third of Texas, high temperatures today will occur during the morning hours, with much colder temperatures rolling in from the north as cold front arrives this afternoon. So whenever the cold front arrives at your location, that's going to be your high temperature for the day, because after that it's going down the temperature roller coaster. All right, let's take a look at the forecast temperatures the next several days, then we'll talk about the chance for some wintry mischief. Regardless of the wintry mischief issue, the main most widespread issue will be the cold. That'll stick around for several days. Here's tonight's low temperature forecast. 5 below 0, Dumas, 6 below, Perryton. These are temperatures, not wind chills. Wind chills down to 30 below in the Panhandle. 1 in Amarillo, 6 in Plainview, 9 in Lubbock, 10 in, Vernon, 9 in Wichita Falls, 8 in Graham, 9 Gainesville, Sherman, 17 Texarkana, 12 in Denton McKinney, 14 Fort Worth and Dallas, 17 in Waco, 25 in Austin, mid-upper 30s tonight in Houston, so really not bad compared to what it's going to be. We're looking at 12 in Abilene, 12 in Midland, 17 San Angelo, 20s in the Hill Country. Now, here's tomorrow's high temperatures, and yes, these are high temperatures. These are not wind chills. Wind chills will be 20 degrees colder. Teens in the Panhandle, upper teens, lower to mid-20s. Northwest Texas, the Big Country, Texoma, North Texas. Not getting above freezing tomorrow afternoon after the cold front moves through tonight across the northern half of Texas at least. But if you're in the Rio Grande Valley, hey, it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow. Enjoy. If you're in far west Texas, west of the Davis Guadalupe Mountains, hey, it's going to still be warm. 60s, maybe a low 70. So now you know where to go for the warm weather. Otherwise, Sunday night, Monday morning, 5 below in Dumas, 6 below in Perryton, 2 in Amarillo, teens, Big Country, Concho Valley, Hill Country, Central Texas, North Texas, Texoma, the Arklatex, 20s, South Central Texas, the Edwards Plateau, into the Brazos Valley, East Texas, Southeast Texas. Still staying above freezing, it looks like, because the cold front's going to try to lollygag in the Rio Grande Valley. So it may actually be a pretty comparatively warm night, low upper 50s. And then far west Texas will stay above freezing mostly with lows in the 30s. Now, here's Monday's high temperature forecast. Teens in the Panhandle, 20s in West Texas, 20s in the Permian Basin, 20s in the Concho Valley, 20s in Central Texas, 20s in North Texas, 20s in Texoma, 20s in the Arklatex, 20s in Northeast Texas, 30s in East Texas, 30s in Southeast Texas, 20s and 30s in the Brazos Valley. Will be climbing above freezing across deep South Texas. It looks like Monday afternoon, the northern two-thirds of Texas, east of the Davis Guadalupe Mountains, not getting above freezing Monday afternoon. Monday night and Tuesday morning. Now, here's where we have some discrepancy. You notice deep South Texas, how we go from 20s and 30s to mid-upper 30s in the span of about 2 miles. That's the border of two different National Weather Service offices. And whether or not it just was a coordination issue or something, or differing opinion, you can see sometimes things don't line up just right, but let's assume that it's going to be cold. And probably the entire state will be below freezing Monday night unless the Rio Grande Valley is magically spared from crashing the cold front. This actually looks like one of the coldest nights, if not the coldest night across most of Texas. Single-digit low temperatures into the Big Country, the Concho Valley, North Texas, the Arklatex. We're looking at teens into South Texas, Southeast Texas, towards the Golden Triangle, teens, Davis Guadalupe Mountains, far west Texas, El Paso, mid-20s, below zero in the Panhandle, West Texas, and we note temperatures below zero, dangerously close to the Red River and Texoma. It is going to be very cold Monday night and Tuesday morning, with the second to third day of temperatures remaining below freezing constantly across the northern half of Texas. Tuesday's high temperatures have come down, colder air sticking around longer than we thought originally. Shocking. Well, it will be static electricity. Yeah. Temperatures 20s, northern half of Texas, not getting above freezing. 30s, 40s, southern half of Texas. Even though it's going to be cold, we will have sunshine. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, cold. Teens, northern two-thirds of Texas, almost the northern 75% of Texas. The entire state will be below freezing Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, with teens almost to Corpus Christi and Laredo. We're looking at 20s to low 30s, deep South Texas, into the Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley. Hard freeze for a lot of the state. As we get into Wednesday afternoon, this is when we should see the entire state of Texas finally climb above freezing, with highs in the 30s in the Arklatex, upper 30s to low 50s across the remainder of the state, with a couple 60s in the Trans-Pecos, maybe the Rio Grande Valley. As we climb into Wednesday night, Thursday morning, dropping below freezing again, but not as hard of a freeze this time across several regions of Texas, but we'll also probably keep about half the state above the freezing mark. And then as we get into Thursday afternoon, highs return to the 60s and 70s southern half of Texas, 30s, 40s, and 50s northern half of Texas, with another strong cold front arriving as we continue into Thursday, bringing a freeze back to Texas Thursday night. So there's your temperature forecast. Now let's talk about the potential for long duration freezes. From what I just showed you, locations beginning, well, this afternoon. Some locations in the northern half of Texas, whether it be this afternoon or tonight, will probably remain under 32 degrees Fahrenheit until late Wednesday morning, based on the latest data, meaning several days, meaning pipes are probably going to freeze in some spots. We'll have to be mindful of that. And if we have winter weather accumulations, some of that, assuming it doesn't improve by sublimation, wind, essentially, in the sunshine, we may have some icy spots continue for several days. Now, with that being said, let's take a look. Here is the North American model for Sunday, Monday. Now, I realize most of you are going to see the scary pink splotches of doom here and think, holy moly guacamole, it's the mega ice storm of doom. I want to be abundantly clear that for most folks here, what you're seeing is freezing drizzle or very light freezing rain. For most locations, this is not going to be a big-time, crazy accumulating winter storm. We're probably going to see some snow in Texoma, northeast Texas, and the Arklatex. Further south, we're going to see predominantly freezing rain, sleet, or a mix of both. Now, in terms of impacts, because it's going to be so cold, temperatures way below freezing, anything that falls will probably stick to roads, starting with bridges and overpasses first, but we may have a fairly quick transition from everything is fine to slicky, doom, slidey in the ditch issues, where we get this freezing drizzle, freezing rain. The onset time of this is still a bit questionable because we're going to have very dry air in the lowest few thousand feet of the atmosphere, which some of these models may not be doing so well with, meaning what they're showing here may be evaporating before it reaches the ground in spots, or it may not be. As we know from 2021 and other events, freezing drizzle, even drizzle light enough not to be detected by radar, when temperatures are in the teens and that happens, we go downhill way quick, and that is a possibility here. So let's just keep that in mind. The onset of this could be as soon as mid-afternoon Sunday, continuing through Monday afternoon. The heaviest precipitation relatively is expected to be Sunday night through Monday morning, especially across portions of the Brazos Valley, Central Texas, into East Texas and the Arklatex. Some data suggests this may try to miss the Metroplex with the heaviest activity farther south and east because of that drier air on the northwest periphery of this. Notice we don't really have much going on in northwest Texas and the Panhandle. But if we get freezing drizzle and temperatures are in the single digits, oh, is it going to be slick. So let's talk about potential accumulations. Here is the snow accumulations. And again, snow is probably going to be the predominant type of precipitation here in far northeast Texas and the Arklatex, with a big snowstorm in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, even the parts of Alabama as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Some of those folks could be seeing well over half a foot of snow. Us? No. We're currently looking at maybe a dusting under an inch of snow from Sherman over to Mount Pleasant, Mount Vernon, east to Atlanta, Texas, with the potential maybe for 1 to 3 inches of snow from near DeKalb, Boston, New Boston to Texarkana. And again, there will be shifts with this. It could shift northeast completely out of Texas in terms of snow or shift a little further southwest. That's something we're going to have to watch for. But as it looks now, this is not a super duper high snowfall event for Texas. But the higher snowfall totals aren't that far northeast into Arkansas, so we'll have to watch for shifts. Now, in terms of the ice forecast, I want to emphasize, again, this is going to be mostly very light, a few hundredths of an inch. Some folks in portions of southeastern North Texas, East Texas, the northeastern Brazos Valley could have a little heavier of an ice accumulation, over 1/10 of an inch of ice. That being said, 1/100th, let's try that again, 1/100th, a trace, 0.01 inches of ice accumulation with temperatures in the teens and 20s will turn things into skating rinks, especially bridges and overpasses, but even surface roads. And that is a distinct possibility in place in the hill country, Central Texas, North Texas, the Arklatex, East Texas, the Brazos Valley, and even the northern Houston suburbs from Sealy to Brenham to Conroe over to Woodville to Jasper. And again, this is going to be something we're just going to have to watch as we get a bit closer. I realize saying that at 36, 48, 60 hours out is a bit ridiculous when talking about this kind of thing, but longtime viewers know these more subtle, these smaller scale events can go from 0 to holy moly guacamole, we got ice rinks, pretty quickly. So I just want to let you know, yeah, we're watching this. And while this specific graphic does not really indicate much ice in the Metroplex up to Gainesville, based on the animation I just showed you, it is entirely possible we have pockets of freezing drizzle Sunday afternoon through Monday morning, maybe a few snow flurries Monday morning. And if we get the freezing drizzle with temperatures in the single digits, oh, things are going to go downhill in the travel department really quick. It will not take much ice at all to cause issues. In terms of issues, think at the very beginning of the February 2021 winter storm, right before the nasty super cold arrived, we had the 100 plus car pileup on 35W in Fort Worth from freezing drizzle, a fairly localized bout of freezing drizzle that turned things into a skating rink. That's what I'm concerned about here when we're talking about freezing drizzle, so let's keep that in mind. Cowboys game tomorrow. We may have some of that freezing drizzle by the time the game lets out. We're going to have to wait and see and watch, but just be mindful of that and drive carefully, please. And of course, we're going to have updates on this. We'll have plenty of updates through today, tonight, probably almost real-time coverage tomorrow through Monday. And even though we're going to have some winter issues, some slicky doom, some freezing drizzle, some freezing rain, some sleet, a bit of snow, this still is magnitudes off from February 2021 in the sense not every county in the state of Texas is going to have a layer of ice and snow. We're not talking about half the state having over half a foot of snow, and we're not talking about the other half of the state having a thick layer of ice. It is going to be cold. We are going to have travel issues in several regions, but we're going to get through it. It'll be okay. And we'll keep you updated. I'm not going to hype things up if I don't think we need to hype things up. And while it sounded like I might be hyping some things up, I just am concerned about travel conditions. And yes, it will be very cold. I don't want to downplay that either. It will be dangerously cold, especially for those who don't have access to heat, shelter, or if for some reason we start having issues with people being able to maintain heat. So, we'll keep you updated. Arctic cold front starts arriving this morning, probably by the time you're watching this, in the Panhandle, continuing to move south quickly through this afternoon, tonight, and Sunday morning across the state. Some locations will not get above freezing until late Wednesday morning. We will all be above freezing Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and then another bout of cold air arrives Thursday afternoon into Friday. That may knock some folks back down below freezing again, but we'll deal with that after this. And right now it doesn't look like it's going to be as intense as this cold air bout. So, all right, we're almost at 20 minutes. I've been blobbing. I don't want to wear this tie anymore. It's Saturday morning. I want to go watch my cartoons while I still can. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. If you want to know about the weather in your neighborhood, I strongly encourage you to download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. You can find it in the Google Play, Apple App Stores. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers. If you want to go the Baldy-in-Chief route, just go to your web browser, type in Texas Weather decimal dot, whatever terminology you want to use, app. That's texasweather.app. It'll take you right to the download page for your device. And as always, you can visit us on the web, texasstormchasers.com, and for the interactive weather radar with surface temperatures on it, texasstormchasers.com/radar. And of course, we're on pretty much every social media network. So we will be here and we'll be watching things. So hopefully this video has been informative and you got a little entertainment out of a otherwise cold period. We'll chat with y'all again later today. Have a good one. Stay warm. God bless. Go Cowboys.